The winner between the Rivian R2 and the Tesla Model Y will not be decided by exterior design. It comes down to subatomic chemistry. Here's the fascinating science behind their battery cells and why one has a massive engineering flaw. In September 2020, Elon Musk stood on stage and promised the world a revolution. The 4,680 cylindrical cell, bigger, bolder, cheaper, 5 times the energy of existing cells, 6 times the power, a 16% range improvement at the pack level, costs cut in half, and the technology that would finally enable a $25,000 electric car. The centerpiece was the dry battery electrode process, intellectual property Tesla had acquired from Maxwell Technologies for this exact purpose. It was supposed to change everything. 6 years later, we can finally measure what actually happened. And the numbers tell a very different story. Let's start with the core metric that matters most in any battery cell: energy density. Tesla's 4,680 cells produced at Giga Austin deliver a nominal energy density of 244 watt-hours per kilogram. The Panasonic 2,170 cells they were designed to replace delivered 269 watt-hours per kilogram. That is not an improvement. That is 13% worse. The cell that was supposed to leap an entire generation forward actually went backward. An independent scientific teardown confirmed it. When researchers cracked open the 4,680, they found an ordinary NMC 811 cell, nickel, manganese, cobalt in an 811 ratio. There was no silicon anode, no cobalt reduction, and critically, no dry electrode process. It was just a bigger version of what already existed, and because of the physics of scaling up a cylinder, it performed worse. Here's why. When you increase the diameter of a cylindrical cell from 21 millimeters to 46 millimeters, you dramatically change the surface to volume ratio. A smaller cell can shed heat efficiently because it has more surface area relative to the energy it stores. A larger cell traps heat inside. And in lithium-ion chemistry, heat destroys everything: longevity, charging speed, and safety. This is where thermal runaway enters the picture. Lithium-ion batteries operate safely between roughly -20 degrees Celsius and 60 degrees Celsius, with an optimal window between 15 degrees Celsius and 35 degrees Celsius. Push beyond those boundaries and you get reduced charge efficiency, capacity degradation, and in the worst case, thermal runaway. That is an irreversible, self-accelerating chemical reaction where the cell essentially consumes itself. The NMC 811 cathode used in Tesla's 4,680 cells begins decomposing at around 210 degrees Celsius. And because the 4,680's larger format dissipates heat poorly, thermal gradients build up inside the cell during fast charging, making it particularly vulnerable to this exact failure mode. The real-world consequences showed up immediately. The first-generation 4,680 Model Y in 2023 had a charging curve that owners described as terrible. Heat buildup caused charging power to collapse below 100 kilowatts after reaching just 35% state of charge. The 10 to 80% charge took over 40 minutes, compared to roughly 27 minutes for the 2,170 equipped Model Y long range. The flagship cell was slower than the cell it replaced. And here is what might be the most damning data point of all. Recent tests showed that after 15 minutes of fast charging, vehicles equipped with 4,680 cells added roughly 27 kilowatt-hours of energy. Cars using lithium iron phosphate batteries, LFP, the budget chemistry, added 29 kilowatt-hours. The premium cell lost to the economy option. Now, Tesla did eventually announce a breakthrough. In January 2026, they confirmed they had finally achieved the dry electrode process for both anode and cathode. But even Tesla admitted this would primarily improve manufacturing margins, not energy density. The fundamental physics problem of the larger cell format remains unsolved. Meanwhile, at Tesla's 2025 Investor Day, Musk himself admitted that pursuing the dry electrode process had been a mistake. He said it turned out to be way harder than expected. Drew Baglino, the 18-year Tesla veteran who served as vice president of powertrain and energy, and who co-presented the 4680 at Battery Day, left the company in April 2024. In mid-2024, Musk reportedly gave his battery team an ultimatum: fix the 4680 problems by the end of the year or abandon the project entirely. The situation got worse when Tesla began shipping the 4680 based pack to European Model Y buyers. The new pack carries approximately 79 kilowatt-hours gross, replacing an LG supplied pack that held 82 to 84 kilowatt-hours. Same car, same aerodynamics, same motors. The only change was the battery, and it knocked 52 kilometers off the WLTP range, an 8% downgrade. European customers began canceling orders. But the 4680's problems extend beyond chemistry into something more structural. Tesla engineers realized they could save weight by eliminating traditional battery modules and making the pack itself part of the car's body, the structural battery pack. The cells are bonded to each other, then bonded to upper and lower metal sheets, creating a rigid honeycomb that doubles as the vehicle's floor. This delivered a 10% weight reduction and a 14% range increase on paper. Sandy Munro, the legendary manufacturing expert, assessed the structural battery pack and delivered a blunt verdict: zero repairability. He said a Tesla structural battery pack is going straight to the grinder. Third-party garages that had been repairing traditional Tesla battery packs for years found themselves completely locked out. Because the pack is the car's structure, even minor collision damage to the underside can compromise the entire battery. And without access to Tesla's proprietary battery data, insurers cannot assess the damage. The result is cars being written off after fender benders. Matthew Avery of Thatcham Research put it this way: "We are buying electric cars for sustainability reasons. But an electric vehicle is not very sustainable if you have to throw the battery away after a minor collision." Now enter Rivian. The R2, arriving in the second quarter of 2026, takes a fundamentally different approach. It uses LG Energy Solutions' 4,695 cylindrical cells, the same 46 millimeter diameter, but 95 millimeters tall instead of 80 millimeters. LG signed a deal to supply Rivian with 67 gigawatt hours of these cells over 5 years. The R2's structural pack uses 3 large modules containing 768 cells total, with 86.8 kilowatt hours of usable capacity and a peak DC fast charging rate of 210 kilowatts. The EPA-rated range hits 335 miles on 21-inch tires. And here's where it gets remarkable. The R2 performance is more efficient, 5% more efficient than the Tesla Model Y performance, despite weighing an extra 370 pounds and presenting a boxier, less aerodynamic profile. It beats the Model Y performance by roughly 30 miles of range. Rivian's powertrain engineering and the R2's new platform are doing serious work to overcome physics that should favor Tesla. The comparison raises a deeper question about battery chemistry itself. LFP batteries, the ones outcharging Tesla's 4,680 in 15-minute tests, have iron phosphate cathodes that decompose at 270 degrees Celsius versus NMC's 210 degrees Celsius. That makes thermal runaway 80% less likely. Simulation studies show that thermal runaway propagation by heat transfer is unlikely in LFP chemistry. LFP cells last 3,000 to 5,000 full cycles compared to NMC's 1,000 to 1,500. LFP's global market share surged from 10% in 2020 to 40% in 2024. The industry is moving toward the chemistry Tesla bet against. The 4,680 was supposed to be a moonshot. Instead, it became a cautionary tale about what happens when manufacturing ambition outruns materials science. Rivian did not try to reinvent the cell. They partnered with LG, used proven chemistry in an optimized format, and focused their engineering on the system around the battery rather than the battery itself. The result is a vehicle that is more efficient, charges competitively, and does not require you to scrap the entire car if you hit a pothole too hard. The winner of this generation of electric vehicles will not be decided by who made the boldest promises in 2020. It will be decided by who delivered the best battery in 2026.